Another beautiful day here in Perth, Western Australia, and we have got another race day coming your way. Cars all packed, ready to go to the track, and we are just about to leave. But you know, it's been a while since I've had a video came out for you guys. Well, we've had a race meet in between this one and our last meeting at the beginning of January, which unfortunately that one didn't quite go to plan. In the heat racing, had a few incidents, but the feature race, we came off pretty straight. I think we ended up with like a 5th place finish or something like that anyway. But 4 races left in the season, and it's really anyone's game still. So we just got to hope decent results, bring the car off straight each and every week, and we'll be happy. But tonight we've got the Amcar Gold Cup and the Sedan Tin Top race meeting. We're only back in the late model tonight. We don't have the sprint car, so it's good to be back in the late model and just purely focusing on that. But it definitely feels weird that I'm only running a 1 division car tonight rather than running 2. But with that being said, guys, look, we're going to hit the track. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure you leave a like on the video as well. Share it around. Bell notification on as well, so you know when I upload. But other than that, guys, look, we're going to head to the track and check it out. Get unloaded. We've got a few things to do on the car before we hit the track. But yeah, we'll see you guys at the end of the video for a little quick recap, and I hope you enjoy today's video. What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. We are in another race meeting, and as you can see, there's only 5 late models out today, but still enough for a quality race meeting. The 5 guys that were out there, well, the 4 extra plus myself, we put on a show each and every time we step on that track. So coming out of first heat race, we're starting out of P3, so inside second row, and yeah, the track looks a bit rough. We had the speed cars on before it, and they flung some water just before we rolled out for the first heat, and then a bit of track prep was done. So unfortunately, we had some issues with steering in this one. As you can kind of see a little bit early on, we kind of went off the back of the 8 ball a little bit, but yeah, Trent slowly let us come past to readdress, and yeah, from there we started to find our lines and got a little bit more confident in it. Being that we're running dirt tires at the moment, we go to roads later on, but dirt tires definitely changed up a bit as we get lapped. I think we only got lapped once in this race, so at the moment we're still sitting 4th, and I'm pretty sure this is where we end up anyways. We end up finishing 4th in the heat, which wasn't too bad considering we sort of had a bit of mishap at the start of the heat race. But yeah, steering wasn't the greatest. I don't know if you guys could tell. It was usually out of 3 into 4, and even out of turn 4. Like, the car just did not want to turn down there, and I know one of the other guys was saying the same thing, that he was having issues coming out of 4, that you basically had to take it like a straightaway, compared to the likes of 1 and 2 where we could just change it, and it swung itself out, as you can sort of see in the video. But as we come across to the checkered flag, we would end up coming home in 4th position for heat 1. Heat 2, again, rolling out of position number 3, so same spot where we rolled off of for the first heat now. The track has had a little bit of work done to it in between the heat races, but again, the speed cars were on it before us, but it looks a lot better than what it did. It was still a bit tacky and difficult, but it made for a challenge which was really interesting and enjoyable. So rolling off of P3 behind Trent here, and we have the WA1 that was coming up behind us. We got off to a little bit of a better start, I feel, in this one. So we sort of held it held our own for a little bit, but ultimately we had a bit of a play around in between the heats and sort of tried to retune the car, tried to find a little bit more speed, had to play with the steering system via the controller to see if we could get it a little bit better. So I sort of hung back a little bit just to make sure everything was working fine. As you can kind of tell, it worked out a little bit better. I think I got on top of the steering just a bit, but there's still a few adjustments that I could have made during this heat race that I noticed. Unfortunately, we had our chances there to sort of overtake some cars, but especially the ones that were spinning in front of us. But yeah, it was sort of making life difficult, especially that little bit there where we sort of came off the track and yeah, just couldn't get any control back over the car. So waited for the front runners to sort of come past us to put us, I think it was like 1 or 2 laps down at that stage, to then come back on track to try and find some grip. So the ending stage of the heat race, we're quite happy with how the car was. We just had to go back and tighten up the rear end and make a few more adjustments, and yeah, we're quite happy with how that was, and we're ready to go for the third and final heat as the checker drops, and we would end up unfortunately dropping from P3 to 5. Third and final heat race, and this time we are off the rear of field out of P5. So we were hoping to sort of maybe change it up a bit. So what we done was we tightened up the rear end, and we flung on some road tyres rather than sticking with our dirt or pin tyres, as they're effectively known as. So coming off the rear, being on roads on a track that was, it doesn't look as solid as what it actually is, but it was actually quite solid, and it was a well presented track. Like, most of these guys are on dirt. I think there was myself and one other car that were on road tyres, and yeah, we didn't get off to the best of starts here, but we would sort of start to find our way. I mean, avoiding spinning cars was definitely the tricky part of things, and unfortunately it did prove costly to us as the race went on. We had our chances to sort of gain a spot or two, but unfortunately we were more so just in the mindset of having a straight car ready to go for features, and you see like a near miss there unfortunately put us into the loose stuff and up into the wall. We did get a spot here, so it built us up to 4th at the moment, I'm pretty sure, and yeah, we're just trying to hold our line, trying to hold ourselves, and look, if we could bring home a straight car after this heat race, I wasn't going to touch much leading into the feature event that was to come later in the night. But we got up to 4th, and yeah, we ran 4th for a little bit in this heat race. Ideally, we could have theoretically stayed 4th without an issue. But yeah, things just happened, and unfortunately, there was a little bit of a bump there, battling for 3rd, and that's where we dropped back down to 5th as the well, as we came to the final lap, and we were now that far behind the 8 ball that yeah, we would unfortunately go on and finished 5th, as I decided it was a good idea to sort of just give a bit of a hip and shoulder fair bump to the wall. I was across the line, and yeah, we would unfortunately finish 5th in that, which would put us out of P5 for the feature race. 25 laps was the journey of the night's A main event, and yeah, coming out of P5, off the back, wasn't so bad, but at the same time, look, we would have loved to have been up a little bit higher, but yeah, we just let chances slip, unfortunately, and that's unfortunately racing for you. So out of 5, WA1, obviously off the pole, top bloke, great driver, and he goes to show it in this by winning the event. But Out of P5, the track is good. We're all on road tyres, apart from I think it's the 44 car who's still on dirts. But yeah, here we go, and bit of a messy start, but we sort of, I feel like it was the best start we could possibly ask for, especially going from 5 to 3rd in one turn as we come onto lap number 2. And unfortunately, this year is where we started to lose control right on the line as well, and try to avoid everyone. So that small gap there, not only did we get lapped, but we also dropped back down to 5th, and we would stay there for probably 4 or 5 laps now, and just trying to find our groove and line again. And as the race obviously went on, we started finding it a bit more. But we all started to also space out, find some gaps. As the 81 Trent and myself, we do have our own little battles, and we like to go up against each other and sort of suss each other out where we're both at. As I jump back up into 4th now after that overtake of the 44 car, and the car definitely had a lot better steering than what it did, and the red flag ultimately comes out, and yeah, I probably should have hit the brakes a little bit earlier than expected there, but Trent unfortunately ends up upside down out of 3 into 4, so we'll go to the restart and we'll pick it up from there. From the restart, we are coming out of P4, so it's Craig, Trent, Clive, myself, Darren is the current run order. So we hold our own against the Twisties car of Clive, and yeah, unfortunately, a few little mishaps, 1 through 3, 1 through 1 as well, sort of put us back on the ground we've made up as Darren tries to come under us. We shut him off, and ultimately he spins, and we somehow avoid Trent, luckily. But even that little bit there of just trying to keep the balance in the car was enough to put us straight to the infield. As Craig then overtakes us, puts us another lap down. But yeah, we're running 3rd, I think, at this stage, 4th or 3rd at this stage. It's kind of sort of hard to tell where you're at when, even watching videos back, it's hard to tell where you're at without actually having to manually sit here and count every single lap and try and work out where all the cars are. So we done our fastest lap of a 7.8 second lap, and it's the quickest we've ever done. We've never been inside the 7-second bracket, so pretty stoked with that. We've ticked that off on the milestone, and now I've seen that. Ideally I'd like to stay sort of within that bracket. It would be good if I can do that. And if that happens, well, I'll be over the moon. But as we come to the concluding stages of the A main event, the track definitely came to and was 100% an awesome track to race on. As I think at this stage we move ourselves up into P2. 2 cars come to the infield in Clive and Darren, so we're now up to P2. We could have held our line here, but unfortunately we end up choking it, and just a little bit of overcorrection there, and gave enough that we sort of held off on it, and we come to the white flag, 1 to run, and Trent manages to sneak past us coming into 3 out of 4, and unfortunately we would come home in 3rd place. I mean, it's still a podium finish, but be 3rd place by 0.362 of a second, unfortunately. So just missing out on 2nd. So, successful race meet now run and done, and brought home the car in 3rd, so podium finish, very happy with that. So, I mean, we were running 2nd, but unfortunately missed out by, I think it was like 0.362, 363. It was quite a close margin at the end there, but unfortunately it's how racing goes. We just kind of
let it slip under us, and there's not much we can do about that. But the night was quite interesting. We started off with a really wet, muddy track, and the car was just cased in mud. And that was the same case with heat number two. But heat one, we had a few steering issues, problems that we sort of had to try and get sorted out. Hot laps was fine, and then just like the hot laps, the track was fine, wasn't muddy. It was actually quite well done and easy to drive on. By the time heat one came around, the track was flooded. It was muddy, made it tricky to drive on. The steering was out of whack, so I kind of had to play around with it, try and sort it out. Kind of did find a way to sort it out for the second heat, um, but it still just didn't feel right to me. But as the night went on, we sort of had a bit of a play with the controller. We've managed to find some speed, and ultimately led to us getting better and better and better in each heat, and even into the A main. Um, but we found our lap times were decreasing quite rapidly. The three heats, we were sitting, I think it was, I want to say about an 8.7 to an 8.2 sort of bracket as a rough guide, with the occasional probably 9-10 second laps in there. That's trying to avoid spinning cars and everything else that you'd probably see in the videos, which is, it's kind of expected on a track that size. Um, but the fact that we found all this speed and being able to keep up to it was wicked. I actually felt a lot more confident in the car tonight than what I had done for quite a while. The track came up absolutely beautiful. It was nice, and yeah, couldn't fault it. It was the way the track came to it as well. Fantastic. Like, it was amazing. I loved it. Great racing, and I know a lot of the guys in the pit said the same thing. So massive shout out to the track crew for all the work. But yeah, brought home the car in third. We unfortunately missed out on second by that small margin, as I was saying. So next meeting we'll just have to come out and try and go one better. We're going in a step in the right direction at least. We know we're getting quicker. We've got the pace. It's now just trying to convert it into podiums, and eventually, fingers crossed, that we do eventually get a feature win under our belts. But I'll take a P3 tonight. It's great points. It's a great night. The racing was high quality, and yeah, now it's just go over it, bit of maintenance, bit of cleaning on it, and then we'll get it ready for a meeting in a couple of weeks. I think it's 2 weeks till our next meeting. Um, but other than that, guys, like, yeah, night's now done. It's all wrapped up, and podium place, so we'll take it. Massive shout out as well. Just quickly, I want to shout out Dale Pike from Storm Race Cars, for giving me a drive of the 14 sprint car. Unfortunately, it does look like my time in the 14 sprint car has now come to an end, as his son is now driving it. There was a bit of issues going on earlier, so look, massive thank you to Dale and the Pike family and Storm Race Cars as well, for entrusting me with the number 14, and giving me an experience that I won't forget. Driving something completely different and out of my comfort zone. It was an awesome opportunity, and I hope one day, I could be back in that 14, or even a sprint car of my own as time goes on. I mean, we don't know where the future takes us, so. But at the moment, it's now back focusing on the 89 late model, and yeah, 4 rounds left in the season. Well, three points rounds, 4 rounds including club meeting, left in the season, and yeah, we're sitting pretty well. So I mean, still plenty of time, but we'll just take it one race meet at a time. Massive shout out to all my supporters and sponsors as well. Taptenna Automotive Parts and Performance, Lazak Steel Roofing, Dixon's Hazard Response, and the Work Area Podcast. Without these guys, none of this would be achievable. And also to the supporters that are watching these videos and showing me all the love and giving me feedback, whether it be at the track or out in public. I appreciate you all so much for everything you show for me. But with that being said, guys, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, turn your bell notification on as well, and yeah, leave a comment, share the video around, let me know what you think of the videos, whether I changed up, whether I keep it the same, whatever I do. I'm open to any sort of feedback. Go and also follow our race pages on Facebook and Instagram. All the links will be down below in the description, same as all the sponsors. So make sure you guys go and check them out, show them some love, and yeah, we'll pack up tonight and get ready for the next meeting in a couple of weeks. So we'll see you guys in the next one.